have to all worry about what Hamas might
Well, it's
do
not, I
in
don't think
regards
it's
to
simple as
trying
that.
to hold
No, it's
on,
something-
hold
it's
on. Let
something
me finish the
about-
point.
Cenk, it's
Let
something
me
they've
finish
actually
the
done.
point. Let me finish the point. And what they might do if they had infinite power, the kind of power that Israel has. Meanwhile, Israel is actually doing the genocide, is actually preventing a Palestinian state and saying you are not allowed to exist. And if you dare try to exist, we'll kill
Okay, let me go to
20,000
Douglas.
of your children and women.
All right, Douglas, respond to that.
Several things. First of all, anyone who uses the term genocide in this context simply doesn't know what they're talking about or is a malevolent actor. The genocide that you describe is such a smear and a lie.
You know, of all the things that a lot of these Israel supporting Zionists can make a big deal out of, they're making a big deal out of the word genocide. Okay, fine. How about we change the word to they're killing a lot of people? Is that better? Like, it makes no sense. They're so offended by the word genocide. What do you want me to say instead? That they're just killing a lot of people? Is that any better for you? Anyways, I found this video where Cenk absolutely destroys Douglas. I watched the whole thing, found all the highlighted moments for you so you don't have to go watch the whole podcast. If you do enjoy that, make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel. I absolutely hate Douglas Murray, whatever his name is, and I'm happy Cenk destroys him. Now let's watch.
Against the Jewish state. If Israel wanted to commit genocide, I'm sure it could, but it doesn't. It doesn't remotely want to. And people like you and other pro-Palestinian propagandists have spent years claiming that Israel is committing genocide in the Gaza. By the way, the weirdest thing about this claim is that the population of the Gaza has grown by 1 million in the last 15 or so years. So if Israel...
See, again, misstating facts. The population of Gaza has grown by 1 million people because people have been shoved away from their homes and towns and cities into Gaza. This guy has no idea what he's talking about. Or he does. He knows exactly what he's talking about, and he's just misstating facts.
Was trying to carry out a genocide. It's either the worst perpetrator of genocide ever or uniquely poor at performing that task. None of the stats support that ridiculous claim. And it's such a weird smear and a libel of Israel. You said that the world cried, you said the people like you who cover for the Palestinian extremists. Thirdly, you said that the world cried out for the 36 Israeli dead children. No, they didn't. And you know that very well. You know that very well. Hypothetical. Hamas showed what they do, what they want to do. It showed it on October the 7th, and its leadership, as I'm sure you very well know, said that they would like to repeat that again and again until they have got rid of every Jew. State. It is nonsense that the Israelis have prevented a Palestinian state. They gave the Gazans a Palestinian state in 2005.
Yeah, why don't they have a state right now? Douglas. He's such an arrogant prick, man. Like, and all of his arguments are always emotional, and he's not even Jewish. I think he's an atheist.
Gave them a Palestinian state in 2005 when every Jewish person was ripped from their homes in the Gaza by IDF soldiers, and the Palestinian people were given a state. And what did they do? They voted in Hamas, who then killed their fellow Palestinians, never had another election, and used all the billions of dollars of...
Hey, didn't the Israelis assassinate their prime minister at one point? Wasn't he from, like, Benjamin Netanyahu's party?
US, UK, and Europe to build terror tunnels and to enrich themselves so they could live the life of luxury in Qatar. Because every country that takes in the Palestinians gets terror. It happened in Egypt, it happened in Jordan, it happened in Syria, it happened in Lebanon, it happened in Tunisia, on and on. That's why these people don't really care about their fellow Muslims. They just care about hating Jews.
All right.
He doesn't care. He doesn't think that Palestinians' lives are worth anything. He just called them all terrorists.
Well, it's nice you can put that word
and this is what they always do.
There you go.
So hold on. I let you talk for a long time. So why don't you shut up for a second?
Woo! I like it, Cenk.
So we've got all of these dead babies. We've got all of these dead babies that this monster doesn't care about. He says keep bombing them. A former intelligence officer said in the Israeli press they're using AI in a program called The Gospel, where he said it's basically a mass assassination factory. And we could all see it with our own eyes. And you can do all the propaganda you want. No one believes your nonsense. We see all the dead women. We see all the dead children. Now Israel has killed 20 times the number of civilians that Hamas killed.
I guess at the time the death toll was like around 20,000. Now they're saying 70, 80,000. Very sad that it went on for this long. Very sad.
Mind tens of thousands of civilians that have been murdered, incinerated alive, body parts picked out of rubble, little babies killed over and over again in what is even the Israeli prime minister is referring to as Amalek, meaning an extermination of the Palestinian people.
No,
and I must clarify the difference between a genocide and a Holocaust.
Go to Douglas, Cenk. One question. You want to get rid of Hamas too, as does Douglas, as do I. If you don't do it the way that Israel is currently doing it, given that they live amongst the population, how else do you do it?
What you do is you do the two-state solution now, and you do it with the.
I mean, this is before the attack on Hezbollah with the beepers. Now we all know that Israel is more than capable of getting them without having casualties. We know this.
Palestinian Authority in the West Bank. And if you then have a Palestinian state, the Palestinian Authority would have the credibility to drive out Hamas from Gaza. That is a realistic plan for both peace, security for Israel and the Palestinians.
I'll tell you something you probably don't know. The Palestinian Authority, Fatah, celebrated the 7th of October massacres. I'll give you another fact which demonstrates you know nothing about this and clearly haven't ever visited any Palestinians in the West Bank as I have. If there was an election tomorrow in the West Bank, the reason why there isn't one is because if there was an election tomorrow in the West Bank, Hamas would win. So your idea of a two-state solution, I'm afraid you are so out of date. And
yeah. Okay, first of all, my last name is Uygur. We're named after the Uyghur Turks in China. And have we talked about that on the Young Turks?
I thought you had spoken up then.
Yes. Yes, we've talked about it endlessly.
So this is when Douglas mentioned that, I think you're just anti-Semitic because why don't you talk about all the Muslims that China is exterminating and all of that? And then Cenk goes on to say, that's literally my last name, Uyghur.
But you don't know that, and you don't watch the show.
Shame
you just
nobody
make
watches
things
your
up.
show.
So
nobody does watch your show.
Yeah, well, okay, again,
Again, he's so arrogant, man. What's he famous for again? Like, is he like a news anchor or a reporter? I don't even exactly know what he does. What's he so famous for?
Interrupting me when I was kind enough to let you go on with your mad ramblings. So how nobody watches the show, we have 5 billion views a year. I don't know what piddling outfit you're on or what little Substack or whatever the hell you write on. So the reason we're incredibly popular is we fight for all. We fight for shut up. We fight for all innocent civilians. So yes, we've covered all of those conflicts. Yes, I'm against fundamentalist Islam, no question about it. I'm against fundamentalist religions of all kind. In terms of every right-wing supporter of Israel, their only tactic is, hey, don't look at the 8,000 murdered children. Don't look at the 6,400 murdered women. Don't look at the fact that all the hospitals in northern Gaza have been shut down. Don't look at the fact that 4 out of 5 people in northern Gaza are starving right now, and half of the people in southern Gaza are starving. Instead, anti-Semite. Now, wait a minute. I just told you how much I want peace and security for Israel, how much I hated what happened on October 7th. What you don't know is I started the Young Turks with 2 Jewish friends. And so the whole program is both Jews and Muslims. You know nothing. You know nothing. I have Jewish family and friends. Why in the world, God, as they go to Israel, I want them to be safe, okay? So I have shown empathy for all civilians throughout everything I have ever done. But all you have is hatred. Oh, he's an anti-Semite. Kill the Muslims. Kill the Palestinians. And once we kill them, by the way, we'll blame them for it. Israel had to murder all those babies in Palestine because Hamas made us do it. Then why are you listening to Hamas? Why are you letting Hamas drive your agenda? Well, you don't have to kill those civilians. It's a mass assassination factory.
But there's one kicker to that, which is that none of the Arabs in this region that I'm sitting in care a jot about the Palestinians.
Why do they have to? I mean, I don't get it. Like, why do they have to? Why can't the Jewish people leave? Like, do they have to leave? No, if they don't, why do the Palestinians have to leave?
Really do not. If they did, for all of their talk, they would have done something. They would not have decided to keep the Palestinians out as they have in country after country. Queen Rania can invite the Gazans into Jordan.
I'm pretty sure Jordan has accepted a lot of Palestinian refugees over the years. maybe Israel needs to stop making Palestinian refugees.
You can invite the West Bank Palestinians into Jordan. She doesn't. Egypt could open its border with Gaza. It doesn't. The Egyptian border with Gaza is firmer and more closely locked than the Israeli ones. There are Gazan workers who, until the atrocities of October the 7th, every day were going through the Eretz crossings and others to work in Israel and to earn a decent living. Were there workers going in daily into Egypt? No, because the Egyptians don't want Palestine.
Because that's a different country.
In their country. So the only solution is a regional one, but I'm afraid in this region there are very few people who care about the Palestinian.
So when Douglas talks about driving them into Egypt or Jordan, that's just ethnic cleansing. They live in Gaza.
Once again, make sure you like this video and subscribe to this channel. And if you really want to help support this channel, because a lot of these videos do get demonetized or shadow banned, make sure you become a member. The link will be in the description below. Now let's continue.
So if you push them out and they say, well, you're all Arabs anyway, why don't you just go live somewhere else in the region? That's the definition of ethnic cleansing. That is outrageous. And he says it with blithely, with no concern, because Palestinian lives don't matter.
Well.
Now Netanyahu says he was proud that he prevented a Palestinian state and that he will continue to prevent a Palestinian state. He is not a partner for peace. He profits from war. His whole career is about perpetuating war, not just to murder Palestinians, but it keeps Israel unsafe for eternity. So the whole point of Israel is to be a safe haven for oppressed Jews throughout the world. It cannot be a safe haven as long as you're imprisoning 5 million Palestinians and saying, we are never, ever going to let you go. And if you ever dare oppose us, we will kill your women and children. It's disgusting.